recited to you was the original Pledge of Allegiance written by Captain George Thatcher Balch in 1885. It wasn't until 1954 that under God was added by the newly baptized into the Presbyterian Church Dwight D. Eisenhower, who used under God and in God we trust formally on our currency to rally American sentiment against our Cold War enemy, the atheistic communist USSR. And it was also to signify, well, if God is for us, we can't possibly lose. This is not a nation under God. It is not a Christian nation. It never has been. Our forefathers were members of the Enlightenment period. They understood the evils of organized religion. In fact, John Adams said that the best of all worlds would be if there was no religion in it. They specifically built a secular government because they knew that true freedom does not exist without religious freedom, and you cannot have freedom of religion unless you have freedom from religion. The Treaty of Tripoli, which went into effect in 1797, was one of the very first documents of United States, the country, and it says in that document that the United States of America is in no way founded on the Christian religion. Our Constitution is not a religious document. It doesn't mention God or the Bible or call on God or the Bible. In fact, the only time it mentions religion at all is Article 6, Clause 3, where it says, no religious test shall be given to anyone who serves public office, meaning you cannot have a religious requirement for those who lead. The Founding Fathers were very clear. Christian nationalists have hijacked that rhetoric to pretend that they were something that they weren't, because Christian nationalists want power and money. They don't give a shit about Christ. And while our Constitution doesn't call on God or the Bible, there was a Constitution that did. It was the Confederate Constitution, who repeatedly called on God and the Bible and how God is on our side, because they also really like to use the Bible to own black people and rape black women, because they felt that it was their divine right as white men to do so. And since we're talking about the Confederacy, Captain George Thatcher Balch, who wrote that Pledge of Allegiance, was a Union captain who believed that the Confederacy and their soldiers were traitors to the United States, and I'm inclined to agree with him.